Welcome by your house, by your shower.
What is it? Saw walking y'all out for dumb. Right. And then ride and face the east. Get into your prayer. Lord's prayer. This is the Lord's Prayer in Hebrew. Abunah. Shabbat Shemayim. Wadah. Hayah. Shabkat. Yahweh. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come. Will be done in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread. Give us our debts. Give our debt on. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. Thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever. So be it.
This is the blessings in the Hebrew. Barakatah Yahweh. Wa Yahweh Shah. Wa Mayaka Allah. Wa Alehayim. Mutazabayah. Alawap Yahana. Ha Alawapim. Ha Atzaroyim. Ha Kwatazoyoyim. Ha Kalyoyoyim. Ha Agwatium. Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shah. The water. Amen.
English.
Bless you, Yahweh, and Yahweh Shai, and Michael, and the angels, commanding General Yohanan, the generals, the captains, the officers, the troopers, and the sisters. Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh Shai. Thank you, so be it.
This is the power Hakak in the Hebrew. Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shah. Baba Kashah, Nathan Lanau, Hakak, Lara Pa'ah, Kamakala, Wakamarawa, Hakak, Latahar, Hamatazarian, Hakak, Lahakwium, Hamathium, Hakak, Arakawat, Hatama'ala, Lagar Shun, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shah, the water among.
In the English, Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh Shai, please give us the power to heal all manner of sickness, all manner of disease, the power to cleanse the lepers, the power to raise the dead, the power against unclean spirits, to cast them out. In the name of Yahweh Shai, thank you, so be it.
This is the book of Psalms, chapter 121 in the Hebrew. Aisha'ah, Ayanya, Ahariam, Mayan, Yaba'ah, Isaiah, Mayim, Yahweh, Aisha, Shemayim, Wa Arataza, Al Yathan, Lamawat, Regalka, Al Yanawam, Shemarka, Hana, Hala'ah, Yanawam, Wala'ah, Yayashan, Shawamar, Yasha'ala, Yahweh, Shemarka, Yahweh, Tazalka, Al Yad, Yam Yakah, Yawamam, Hashamash, La'ayaka, Wayarak, Balayala, Yahweh, Yashamarka, Malkara, Yashamar, Athnapashka, Yahweh, Yashamar, Tazaatka, Wabuaka, Mayata, Wa'ad Awalam.
In English, I will lift up mine eyes unto the hills, from which cometh my help. My help cometh from Yahweh, which made heaven and earth. He will not suffer thy foot to be moved. He that keepeth thee will not slumber. Behold, he that keepeth Yasha Allah shall neither slumber nor sleep. The Lord is thy keeper. The Lord is thy shade upon thy right hand. The sun shall not smite thee by day, nor the moon by night. Slacky. The wild I'm on. Cut off. Don't worry about it.
This is the book of Psalms, chapter 83 in the Hebrew. Alahayim, Al-Dam Yalakah, Al-Takarash, Wa'al, Tashakwat, Al, Kaya, Hana, Awayabyaka, Yahama, Yawan, Ra'ash, Al-Aimaka, Ya'ara Yamwa, Sawada, Wayata, Ya'itazawa, Al-Tazawa, Al-Tazapunwa, Al-Tazapuwanyaka, Amarwa, Lakawa, Wanakakidum, Magalia, Wala'ah, Yazakar, Sham, Yasha'alam, Awada, Kaya, Nawataza, Laba, Yakadwa, Al Yakar, Baryat, Yakaratwa, Al Hayam, Adawam, Wayashamai, Alam, Yum, Mawa'aba, Waharga Yum, Gabal, Wa'aimawan, Wa'aimalak, Palashak, Aim Yashabiyah, Tazawar, Gam Ashawar, Nalawa, Amam, Hayawa, Zarawai, Nabaya Lawat, Salah, Aisha Laham, Kamadian, Kasaya, Sa'ira, Kayabian, Banakal, Koyashman, Nashadma, Bayan, Da'ara, Hayawa, Daman, La'adama, Shayatamwa, Nada, Yab Mawa, Ka'arab, Wakazabak, Wakatazal, Mana'ai, Kal Nasak, what is it? Kal Nasaya Kamwa, Ashar, Amarwa, Nayasha, Ladawa, At, Na'atwat, Alaham, Alahayim, Alahaya, Sayatumwa, Kagagala, Kakwash, Lapan, Raka, Ka'ash, Ira, Wakala Haba, Talahat, Hariyam, Khan, Taradatma, Basiraka, Wabasa, Wapatka, Tabahalam, Mala'ah, Panyaham, Kualawan, Waya Bakwashwa, Shamka, Yahweh, Yabashwa, Waya, Bahawa, Adya, Ai, Waya, Kaparwa, Waya, Abadwa, Waya, Dayawa, Kaya, Ata, Shumka, Yahweh, Labadka, Al Yawan, Al Ka'arataza.
In the English, keep not thy silence, O Yahweh. Hold not thy peace, and be not still, O Yahweh. For lo, thine enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people, and consulted against thy hidden ones. They have said, come, and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Yasha Allah may be no more remembrance. For they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against thee, the tabernacles of Edom, and the Ishmaelites of Moab, and the Hagarenes, Gabal, and Ammon, and Amalek, the Philistines, the inhabitants of Tyre. Assur also is joined with them. They have hope in the children of Lot. Selah, do unto them as unto the Midianites, as to Sisera, as to Jabin, at the brook of Kison, which perished at Endor. They became as dung for the earth. Make their nobles like Oreb and like Zeheb. Yea, all their princes, as Zebah and as Almunah, who said, let us take to ourselves the house of Yahweh in possession. Oh, my power, make them like a wheel, as the stubble before the wind, as the fire burneth the wood, as the flame set the mountains on fire. So persecute them with thy tempest, and make them afraid with thy storm. Fill their faces with shame, that they may seek thy name. O Yahweh, let them be confounded and troubled forever. Yea, let them be put to shame and perish, that men may know that thou, whose name alone is Yahweh, art the most high of all the earth. Sorry. Right, check. Wow. Shalom Israel, Yahweh Shemashapatah, Yahweh Shema, Yahweh Shema, shout out to our sisters. Of course, it's Isupk, started 1 West on 25th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commander Junior Hanna. This is the Sabbath service, man. We do this every Saturday, you know what I'm saying? It's our tradition, it's our culture, it's our nationality. It's what we do, man. It's our history. We bring out these scriptures, man. We're in the book of Genesis. We're going to pick up where we left off from last week. We were in Genesis chapter 21. Let me see. We left off at Genesis 21 and verse 34. What we do is we read it in the Hebrew, and then we read it in the English. If you have any questions, type them in the chat. We'll do our best to answer your questions. You know what I'm saying? We'll get this thing rocking and rolling. Like, share, subscribe. You know what I'm saying? Let's get it on. All right, this is the book of Genesis, chapter 21, verse 34 in the Hebrew. You got it, brother.
Come, this is the book of Genesis, chapter 21, verse 34 in the Hebrew. Wayagar, Abarayim, Ba'arataza, Pala Shayata, it's like a Pala Shatyam, Yamayim, Rabayim. It's the book of Genesis, chapter 22, verse 1. In the Hebrew, it's like Wayahaya, Akkad, Abba, it's like Adaba Rayum, Ha'ala, Wahala Hayam, it's like Wahala Hayam, Nasa, At, Abba Rayam, Waya Amar, Alaya, it's like Alayawa, Abba Rayam, Waya Amar, Hanya, verse 2. Waya Amar, Quat, Na'a, At, Banak, At, Yatayad, it's like Yatayadak, Ashar, Slaki. Ahabat, Ak, Yatazakak, Walak, Laka, Al, Arataza, Hama Rayat, Hamayara, Waha Allah Hawa, Shum, La'ila, Al, Akkad, Haharium, Ashar, Amar, Alayak, verse 3. Wayashab, Slakin, Wayashah come, Slakin, Abraham, Babaquar, Wayaka, Bash, Slakin, Wayakabash, Ak, Kamarawa, Wayakak, Ak, Shanya, Na'ira Yawa, Atawa, Wa'at, Yatazakak, Banawa, Slaki Banya, Wabakwa, Slaki, Waya Bakwai, Itazar, Ya, Allah, Waya Kwam, Waya Lak, Al, Slaki, Hama Kwa Wam, Ashar, Amar, Lawa, Ha'alahayim. Verse 4. Bayawam, Hashalayash Shaya, Waya Sha'a, Abaram, At, Ayun Yawa, Waya Ra'a, At, Kwa Wam, Marakak, verse 5. Wa Amar, Abraham, Al, Na'irawa, Shabbatwa, it's like a Shabbawa, Lakum, Pa, Ain, Ha, Kwa, Ma, War, Wa'anya, Wahana, Ar, Walaka, Aid, Ka, Wanashat, Kawa, Wanasha, Waba, Alayakam. Verse 6. Wayakwak, Abraham, At, Atazayah, Ha'ila, Wayashum, Al, Yatazakwak, Banawa, Wayakwak, Baya Dawa, Bayadwa, Salaki, At, Ha'awa, Salaki, Ha'ash, Wa'at, Hama'a, Kalak, Wayala, Kawa, Sanyaham, Ha, Salaki, Yakadwa. I think that's it.
Okay, so what verse stop at?
Verse 6.
Okay, yep. That's 22:6.
Come on, sir.
All right, read back from the top, start at 34.
Come. It's the book of Genesis, chapter 21, and verse 34. And Abraham sojournered in the Philistines' land many days.
You know, Philistines were a bunch of Hamites, right? A bunch of Africans. We always had beef with them. We always destroyed and slaughtered them.
Right.
You know, understand? Remember the big chief? Well, the Philistines was Goliath, one of the Philistines. So you see that Philistines, you know, they're a bunch of Hamite heathens. They are not our people. All right, go ahead, read on.
Come, chapter 22, and verse 1. And it came to pass after these things that God did tempt Abraham and said unto him, Abraham, and he said, Behold, here am I. And he said, Take now thy son, thy only son, Isaac, whom thou lovest, and get thee into a land, get thee into the land of Moriah, and offer him there for a burnt offering upon me of the mountains, which I will tell thee of. Verse 3 now.
So like it real quick, if I may, Bob Kasha. One thing too, you know, what Christians don't understand, you know, because you know they would see this and say, you know, the Most High is literally having a conversation with Abraham. You understand? But the Most High always sent his messages to speak to whatever he needed to be told. He told his messages to tell, you know, whoever he was speaking to. So don't let's get it twisted and say the Most High is literally having a conversation with Abraham. He sent a prophet or a messenger or angel to speak with Abraham. So what?
That's right, brother. And it's also heavy too that imagine the Most High telling you to sacrifice your son.
Right?
You understand? Just imagine how sober. It's a sober reality, man. You understand that? And that just goes to show we're gonna keep reading and find out what type of man Abraham was,
Right.
and what type of man you are,
Right.
what you think you are. You understand? And go ahead, brother.
Verse 3. And Abraham rose up early in the morning and saddled his ass and took 2 of his young men with him and Isaac his son and clave the wood for the burnt offering.
And this is Abraham going to do it. Rose up early in the morning. No sweat. No sweat, Lord. I mean, think about your only son. I know some of us have kids. Think about your precious baby, man.
Right.
Would you be able to do this? Go ahead, read on.
And rose up and went unto the place of which the Most High had told him. Verse 4. Then on the 3rd day, Abraham lifted up his eyes and saw the place afar off. Verse 5. And Abraham said unto his young men, Abide ye here with the ass, and I and the lad will go yonder and worship, and come again to you. Verse 6. And Abraham took the wood of the burnt offerings and laid it upon Isaac his son, and he took the fire in his hand and a knife, and they went both of them together.
Yeah, man. Took the wood of the burnt offering, which was supposed to be his son.
Right.
You understand? And fire and knife in his hand. He was ready.
He was ready.
I mean, good night, brother. Go ahead. What's that, verse 6?
That's it for English.
Yep, that's it for English. We'll pick back up.
This is the book of Genesis chapter 22, verse 7 in the Hebrew. Waya Amar, it's like a Waya Amar, Yatazakak, Al, Abarayim, Abayawa, Waya Amar, Abaya, Waya Amar, it's like a Hananya, Banya, Waya Amar, Hana, Ha'ash, Waha'a Tazayum, Wa'aya, it's like Wa'aya, Hasha, La'ila, verse 8, Waya Amar, Abraham, it's like Abraham, Alahayum, Yara, it's like Yara'a, Lawa, Hasha, La'ila, Banya, Waya Lakawa, Shanya Hum, Yakadwa, verse 9. Waya Slakin, Waya Bayawa, Slakin, Allah, or Al, Hamakwa Wam, Ashar, Amar, Lawa, Alahayim, Waya Ban, Shum, Abaram, Ak, Hamazabak, Waya Arak, Ak, Ha'ai Tazum, Salaka Ha'ai Tazayum, Waya Akwar, Ak, Yatazakwak, Salaka Banwa, Waya Shum, Atwa, Al, Hamazabak, Mama Al, La'atazayum, verse 10, Wayash Lak, Abram, Ak, Yadwa, Wayakak, Ak, Hama'a, Hama Akala, Lashakat, Ak, Banwa, verse 11, Wayakora'ah, Alayawa, Mala'akat, it's like Mala'ak, Yahweh, it's like Man, Hasha Mayum, Waya Amar, Abraham, Waya Amar, Hanya, verse 12, Waya Amar, Al, Tashalak, Yadka, Al, Hun Ar, Wa'al, Ta'aish, Lawa, Ma'a, Wama, Kaya, Slakin, Ata, Yad I, Taya, Kaya, Wara'a, Slakin, Yara'a, Alahayim, Ata, Wala, Kasha, Slakin, Kashakat, Slakin, Kashakat, good night. Ad, Banak, come, Baba Kasha. Ad, Yakaya Dak, Mama Mamanya, good night. Verse 13, Wayasha'a, Abraham, Ayan Yawa, Wayara'a, it's like a Wahana, Ayal, Akad, it's like a car, Na'akat, so like it, Na'akat, no, Na'akaza, Basa Bak, Bakwaran Yawa, Waya Lak, Abraham, Waya Kwak, At, Ha'ayal, Waya I, La Hawa, La Ila, Dakat, Banwa. I think that's it. Was that it, son?
Yeah, it was 13, right?
Come on, sir.
Come, verse 7. And Isaac spake unto Abraham his father, and said, My father. And he said, Here I am, son. Slacky, here I am, my son. And he said, Behold, the fire and the wood, but where is the lamb for a burnt
And
offering?
that goes to show, even the children knew our tradition about blood sacrifices. A little kid, like, where the lamb? Where, just inquisitive as you want to be, not knowing that he is that.
That's right.
But you just put yourself in this scenario, man. And about your only son. You understand? Keep reading.
Come. Verse 8. And Abraham said, My son, the Most High will provide himself a lamb for a burnt offering. So they went both of them together. Verse 9. And they came to the place which the Most High had told him of. And Abraham built an altar there, and laid the wood in order, and bound Isaac.
And did what?
And bound Isaac.
And bound Isaac. Go ahead.
His son, and laid him on the altar upon the wood.
Look at that. Now he was obedient, man. He did exactly what the Most High said for him to do, and bound his only son, man. Bound his little boy. My goodness, man.
It's a lot, if I may, Baba Kasha. That show you the teaching of Abraham too, because the spirit that Isaac had, he didn't fight him when he bound him. It didn't say anything that he restrained or anything. Isaac was ready for that offering as well, that sacrifice as well, man. That it shows you, man, the tradition that we had, man. You understand that we keeping in the ISPK, man. It's building up men. You understand? It's a lot.
I don't none of you stupid nuts go not take your medication. The Most High ain't talking to you. Don't you go take your son and bound him up on no daggone altar, man. Take your schizophrenic medication, all right? You ain't Abraham.
That's right.
You understand? All right, read on.
Verse 10. And Abraham stretched forth his hand and took the knife to slay his son.
All right, but he's gonna do it. Go ahead.
Verse 11. And the angel of the Most High called upon him out of heaven and said, Abraham, Abraham. And he said, Here am I.
He was about to do. He had an angel call him twice. Abraham, hey, hold on now. You understand? That brother, Abraham was going to do exactly what he was told to do, man,
right.
Without question. You understand? Read on.
Verse 12. And he said, Lay not thy hand upon the lad, neither do thou anything unto him. For now I know that thou fearest the most.
What?
Now I know that thou fearest the Most High, seeing thou hast not withheld thy son, thy only son, from me.
That's right, man. He didn't withhold his only son like some of us would have probably done. Be disobedient and not hearken to the voice of the Lord and do what you want to do. As if as if your mind is the Most High's mind. You be obedient to the Lord, man. You see right here, the Bible says, these records are written for our learning, man.
Right.
You understand? He was about to sacrifice his only son until the angel of the Lord told him to stop. You understand? Do not lay a hand upon this lad. Now you think about that, man. Abraham showed us what true obedience is, man. And that attests to his character, what kind of man he really was. You understand? Read on.
Come, verse 13. And Abraham lifted up his eyes and looked, and behold, behind him a ram caught in a thick.
And what do you know? Now here comes the real second verse right here. A ram caught in the thicket.
Really?
You understand? Read on.
By his by his horns. And Abraham went and took the ram and offered it up for a burnt offering instead of his son.
Instead of his son, man. The Lord still provided through his obedience, man.
That's right.
Abraham was obedient. And we need to pay attention and understand and learn from these records, man. That's how we ought to be.
Right.
That's how we ought to be, man. You understand that? On that?
Come.
All right, we're gonna start it back in the Hebrew.
This is the book of Genesis, chapter 24, verse 4. Chapter 22, verse 14 in the Hebrew. Wayakara'ah, Abraham, Sham, Hama Kwawam, Wa'ah, Yahweh, Wa Slakin, Yara'ah, Yara'ah, Ashar, Ya'amar, Haya Wam, Bahar, Yahweh, Yara'ah. Verse 15, Wayakora'ah, Allah Slakin, Mala'ak, Yahweh, Al, Abaram, Sunyat, Man, Hashaya Slakin, Hashamya. Good night. Verse 16, Waya Amar, Baya, Nashab I Taya. Na'at Slakin Na'am Yahweh Kaya Aya Slakin Ya Iwa Slakin Ya Ain. Good night. Ashar Aishayat At Haraba Slakin Hadabar Hazah Wala'ah Ka Shabbat At Banak At Yaka Yadak. Verse 17. You want this water too? Okay, come on, sir. Verse 17. Kaya, Barak, Abba, Rakak, Waharaba, Araba, At, Zaraak, Kaka, Waka, Baya. Hasha Mayum, Waka Kawal, Uwi, what's on curse? Ashar, Al, Shapat, Hayam, Wayarash, Zara Ak, At, Sha'ar, Ayab Yawa, verse 18. Wahata Barakawa, Bazara Ak, Kal, Gawayaya, Ha'arataza, Iquab, Ishar, Shama'it, Bakwalaya, verse 19. Wayashab, Abraham, Al, Na'ara Yawa, Wayakwa Mawa, Wayalakawa, Yakadwa, Al, Ba'ar, Shabai, Slaki Shabai, Waya Shab, Abraham, Baba'ar, Shabai, verse 20, Waya Haya, Ikaraya, Hada, Barayum, Ahala, Ha'ala, Wayagar, La'a, Baraham, La'amar, Hana, Yala Da, Malaka, Kag, that's like it, Gum, Hawa'a, Bayon, it's like it, Bun Yum, Lun, it's like it, Lanakawar, Akaya, it's like Akayak. Good night. That's
Good job, brother. Good job. Start back there. You at?
Come. Verse 14. And Abraham called the name of that place Jehovah Jireh, as it stands, Slakia, as it is said to this day, in the mount of the Most High it shall be seen. Verse 15, and the angel of the Most High called unto Abraham out of heaven the second time and said, by myself have I sworn, and said the Most High, for because thou hast done this thing,
Because thou hast what?
done this thing,
Go ahead.
and hast not withheld thy son, thy only son. Verse 17, that in blessing I will bless thee, and in multiplying I will multiply thy seed as the stars of the heaven.
Look at that. Go ahead.
And the sand which is upon the seashore.
And as the sand which is upon the seashore, man. Look at that blessing. You understand? Read on.
Come, which is upon the Slakia. And thy seed shall possess the gate of his enemies.
And we're going to possess the gate of enemies. Not only are you going to multiply him, we're going to destroy all his enemies and possess them.
That's right.
That's been prophesied right here in the Old Testament, man. Right. Are we Abraham's seed? You understand? This ain't nothing changed, man. Right. Go ahead.
Come, verse 18. And in thy seed shall all the nations of the earth be blessed.
And in whose seed?
In thy seed.
Shall all the what?
Nations of the earth be blessed.
Go ahead.
Because thou hast obeyed my voice.
Because I did what?
Obeyed my voice.
See, you gotta understand something, man. Your blessings are contingent upon your obedience, man. You know what I'm saying? Your obedience to the Most High power. That's how. It's right here in the book. This is the blueprint for how you want to be blessed by the Lord. You better be obedient like Abraham was, man. But like I said before, don't go think of sacrifice your son like a stupid idiot, because he ain't talking to you to do that. But you be obedient to these laws, statutes, and commandments, and to the voice of the Lord, that guy. Who is the voice of the Lord now? The priest and prophets of Isupk. Right. That little voice you hear in your head, the Lord ain't talking to you, man. Right. You need medication. You come in here and be told what to do, man, and we'll tell you if that's Lord or not. You understand? Read on.
Verse 19. So Abraham returned unto his young men, and they rose up and went together to Beersheba. And Abraham dwelt at Beersheba. Verse 20. And it came to pass after these things that it was told Abraham, saying, behold, Melchi, she had said, Slaket, she had also borne children unto thy brother Nahor.
Come on. This is the book of Genesis, chapter 22, verse 21 in the Hebrew. At, Iwatazah, Bakarawa, Wa'at, Bawa, Bawaz, Bawazah, Akaya, Wa'at, Kwama, Wa'al, Abaya, Aram, verse 22. Wa'at, Kashad, Wa'at, Hazawa, Wa'at, Paladash, Wa'at, Yadlap, Wa'at, Bat Wa'al, verse 23. Wabat Wa'al, Yalad, At Rabakwa, Shamana, Allah, Yalada, Malaka, Lana Kawar, Akaya, Abraham, verse 24. Wapaya Lagasha, Wapaya Lagashawa, Washama, Ra'ah Wama, Watalad, Gum, Hawa'ah, At, Kazabah, Tabak, Wa'at, Ga, Kum, Wa'at, Takwash, or Takash, Wa'at, Ma'aka. This is the book of Genesis, chapter 23, verse 1 in the Hebrew. Waya Hayawa, Hayaya, Shara, Ma'ai, Shana, Wa'ai, Sharayam, Shana, Wa'ai Shabbat, Wa'ai Shabbai, Shanyam, Shanya, Hayaya, Slaka Hayaya, Wa Slaka Shara, verse 2. Watamath, Shara, Bakwariyat, Arabai, Hawa'a, Kaba Rawan, Salakia. Oh, Kaba Rawan, Ba'arataza, Kan An, Wa Yaba'a, Abraham, La Sapar, La Shara, Wala Ba Kata, verse 3. Wayaquam, Abraham, Ma'al, Panya, Matawa, Wayadabar, Al, Banya, Kat, La Amar, verse 4. Gar, Wata, Wa Shab, Ankaya, Imakam, Thun, Thunwa, Laya, Ikazat, Kwakar, Imakam, Wa'a, Kwabara, Mataya, Malapanya, verse 5. Waya Nawa, Banya, Kath, At, Abaram, La Amar, Lawa, verse 6.
Hold on. You supposed to go to verse 3. Stop.
Oh, so like
You all right? You gotta catch that, brother. Be getting in,
Comic Con.
well, going with it. All right, we're gonna pick up where he left off at Genesis 22 and verse 21.
Comic Con.
Yeah.
Verse-
Verse 3. Stop at verse 3.
Verse 21. Huz his firstborn, and Buz his brother, and Chemel the father of Aram. Verse 22. And Chesed and Hazal and Fildash and Jalaph.
This is running down the lineage. Everybody pregnant now. Everybody bearing children. You know what I'm saying? Read on.
And Bethel. Verse 23. And Bethel begat Rebekah. And these 8 Malachi and did bear to Nahor, Abraham's brother. Verse 24. And his concubine, whose name was Ramiah, she bare also Tabath and Gaham, and Tahash, and Mahakiah. Chapter 23 and verse 1. And Sarah was 107 and 20 years old. These were the years of the life of Sarah. Verse 2. And Sarah died in Kirjath-Tharabah, the same as Hebron, in the land of Canaan. And Abraham came to mourn for Sarah and to weep for her.
Look at that. She was 127 years old.
Right.
Lived a long life, man. Go ahead.
Verse 3. And Abraham stood up from before his dead and spake unto the sons of Heth, saying,
Read on down to, you stopped at 6 right now. Wait, read on down to 6.
I am a stranger and a sojourner with you. Give me a possession of a burying place with you, that I may bury my dead out of my sight. Verse 5. And the children of Heth answered Abraham, saying unto him, verse 6, Hear us, my Lord. Thou art a mighty prince among us. In the choice of our sepulchres, bury thy dead. None of us shall withhold from thee his sepulchre, but that thou mayest bury thy dead.
Look at that, man. You understand? They honored Abraham.
Right.
They say he's a mighty prince among us, man. Take your pick. Pick your sepulcher, man. Go ahead, bury it, whatever you want. We respected Abraham, man. You know what I mean? Go ahead. Oh, that's the 6. All right, pick up. Stop. You're gonna read from 7.
You're gonna stop at verse 10.
Come, sir. Come. This is the book of Genesis, chapter 23, verse 7. Wayaquam, Abraham, Wayashat Kawa, La'aim, Ha'arataza, La Bunya, Ta Slaka Kata, verse 8. Wayadabar, Atham, La Amar, Yash, At, Napashakam, Lakorbar, At, Mataya, Malapanya, Shama, Shamai, Shamai Wanya, Wapa, Ga, Iwa, Lawa, Ba'ai, Para, one, La'ai Para one, by Ban, um, Tazakar, verse 9, Wayathan, Laya, At, Ma'airat, Hama, Kapala, Ashar, Lawa, Ashar, Bakwataza, Shadahawa, Shadhawa, Ba Kasap, Mala'a, Yatan Na, Laya, Bata wa Kakum, La'a Ka, La'a Kazat, La'a Kazat, Kokar, verse 10, Wa'ai Parawa, La'ai Parawa 1, Yashab, Batawak, Banya, Ka, Ta, Wayaan, Ipa Rawan, Ha, Ka, Taya, At, Abraham, Ba'a, Zanya, Banya, Kata, Lakal, Ba'aya, Sha'ar, I, Yarawa, La'amar.
Verse 7. And Abraham stood up and bowed himself to the people of the land, even to the children of Heth. Verse 8. And he commuted with them, saying, if it be your mind that I should bury my dead out of my sight, hear me, and entreat for me to Ephron, the son of Zohar. Verse 9. That he may give me the cave of Machpelah, which he hath, which is the end of the field, which is in the end of the field. For as much money as it is worth, he shall give it to me for possession of a burying place amongst you. Verse 10. And Ephron dwelt among the children of Heth, and Ephron and Hittite answered Abraham in the audience of the children of Heth, even of all that went in the gate of his city, saying.
All right. We're gonna start at 11. You have to read stop at 17.
Come on,
This is when Abraham burying his rib.
Come on. So this is the book of Genesis, chapter 23, verse 11. In the Hebrew, La'ah, Adanya, Shama'anya, Hashada, Natataya, Laka, Wahama Ara, Ashar, Bayat, Bawa, Laka, Natataya, La'ai, Yanya, Banwa, Banya, Imaya, Natataya, Laka, Kobar, Matak, verse 12. Wayashat Kawa, Abraham, Lapanya, Ha'arataza, verse 13. Wayadabar, Al, Iparawa, Iparawan, Ba'azanya, Aim, Ha'arataza, La Amar, Aka, Ata, Lawa, Shama'anya, Natayaya, Natataya, Ka Sap, Hashada, Kwak, Mamanya, Wa Aqua Bara, At, Mataya, Shema, verse 14. Waya'ain, Iparawan, At, Abraham, La'amar, Laka, Lawa, verse 15. Idunya, Shama'anya, Arataza, Arabad, Ma'atat, Slaki Ma'at, Shakwal, Kasap, Banyanya, Waba, Yak, Slaki Wabayanak, Ma, Hawa'a, Wa'at, Slaki, Matak, Kabar. You said stop at what, sir? 17? Come on, okay. Verse 16. Waya Shammai, Abraham, Al, Iparawan, Waya Shakwal, Abraham, La'a Paran, Ta Slaki At, um, Hakasap, Ashar, Dabar, Ba'a Zanya, Banya, the Kata, Arabai, Ma'awat, Shakwal, Kasap, Ibar, La Sakar. Verse 17, Wayaquam, Shad, Slaka Shada, Ipa Rawan, Ashar, Bamaka Pala, Ashar, Lapanya, Mamara'a, Hashada, Waha Ma'ira'a. It's like a Waha Ma'ira, uh, Ashar, Bawa, Wa Wakal, Ha'ataza, Ashar, Bashada, Ashar, Bakal, Gar, it's like it, Gabawa, it's like it, Gabalawa, Sabayab. That's the end of verse 17, sir.
It's the book of Genesis, chapter 23 and verse 11. Nay, my Lord, hear me. The field give I thee, and the cave that is therein I give it thee.
So the brother's gonna sell him the burying place that he wants, the cave, the land, everything. Go ahead.
In the presence of the sons of my people I give it to thee. Bury thy dead. Verse 12. And Abraham bowed down himself before the people of the land. Verse 13. And he spake unto Ephron. In the
This also showed in our tradition that in burying our people.
That's right.
You won't run around looking for what they do, put them in an urn.
Oh yeah, the ashes, cremation urn.
They were looking for cremation. They were
Right.
looking for a plot to actually bury the loved one.
That's right.
When you love your people, that's our tradition. Like we lay our people to rest.
That's
We
right.
don't put them in the furnace to burn them.
That's right.
Come.
That's a heavy point. You're right. You like Elam like to do. Elam like to burn his dead. You know, we've seen that with COVID. They burning them up over there. But that's not our tradition. That's a heathen custom to burn your dead, man. That's not an honorable death. Yeah, Abraham loved his wife, his rib. You understand? He gave a respectable burial, a sepulcher, and he's going to purchase this cave in this specific plot of land from these people. You understand? Good heavy point, sir. Go ahead.
Khan. In the audience of the people of the land, saying, but if thou wilt give it, I pray thee, hear me. I will give thee money for the field. Take it of me, and I will bury my dead there. Verse 14. And Ephron answered Abraham, saying unto him, verse 15, my Lord, hearken unto me. The land is worth 400 shekels of silver.
So he tell him, listen, man, this land you want is worth 400 shekels of silver. Whatever that was at the time, it's pretty penny, man. Right. 400 shekels of silver. Go ahead.
What is that betwixt me and thee?
So they square dealing right here. Ain't no backdoor trying to. He said, what is it between us? Okay, let's talk turkey.
That's right.
You understand? Abraham's a square man. He gonna pay for what he wants. Go ahead.
Bury therefore thy dead. Verse 16. And Abraham hearkened unto Ephron, and Abraham weighed to Ephron the silver, which he had named in the audience of the sons of Heth.
So what he said he's gonna pay, he did. He weighed it out. What he said he was gonna pay, he did. Go ahead.
400 shekels of silver, current money with the merchant.
Current money, man. Abraham wasn't playing. He wasn't trying to get over on somebody like you try to do. He paid what he owed, man, and what it was worth. Go ahead.
Verse 17. And the field of Ephron, which was in Melpelah, which was before Maram, the field and the cave which was therein, and all the trees that were in the field, that were in all the borders round about, were made sure.
That was it. Okay. That's the last seven here. Go to 18. You go stop at verse chapter 24, verse 4.
Come. This is the book of Genesis chapter 23, verse 18 in the Hebrew. La Abraham, La Ma Kwana, La A La Ayanya, Banya, Kata, Bakal, Baaya, Sha'ar, Aya Rawa, verse 19. Wa'akwaria, Kaya, it's like Khan, Kwabar, Abraham, Shara'ah, it's like a Shara, Asha, Tawa, Al, Ma'arat, Shada, Hama Kapala, Al, Panya, Mamara'a, Hawa'a, Kaba Rawan, Ba'arataza, Kana Iwan, it's like a Kana'ain, verse 20. Wayaquam, Hashada, Waha Ma'ara, Ashar, Bawa, La'a Barahum, La'a Hazah, Salaki, La'a Kazak, Kwa Bar, Ma'at, Banya, Kata. This is the book of Genesis, chapter 24, Salaki, 24, verse 1. Wa Abraham, Zakwan, Ba'a, Bayamam, Salaki, Bayan, Salaki, Baya Mayan, Wa Yahweh, Barak, Atha, Abraham, Bakal, verse 2. Wa Amar, Abraham, Al, Ibarak, Salaki, Ibadwa, Zakwan, Baya Tawa, Ma Salaka Hama Shal, Bakal, Ashar, Lawa, Shayam, Na'a, Yadak, Dakwat, Yara Kaya, verse 3. Wa'a Shabaya Ak, Ba Yahweh, Allah Haya, Ha Shemayim, Wa'a Haya, Ha Arataza, Ashar, La Ama, Dakwak, Ashar, Labanya, Maba, Maba, Salaka, Mabana, what, Salaka, Mabana, what? Good night. Haka Na'ai, Haka Anya, Ashar, Anakaya, Waya Shab, Bakwar, Bawar, verse 4. Kaya, Al, Aratazaya. Was it? Oh, okay, sorry. Wa all Mawa Lada Taya, Halak, Wala Kwakat, Asha, Labanya, Layatazak Kak, Layatazakak, Salaki. Verse 5. Waya Amar.
That's it. That's what.
Okay, throw all the verse 4. About to get going.
Hey, you want it?
Come on. Verse 18. Unto Abraham for possession in the presence of the children of Heth, before all that went in at the gate of his city. Verse 19.
So everybody, this is all the children, all the people in the gate, they seen this exchange. See, Abraham was coming to another land. It's easily, brother, like, man, I don't know him. He ain't paid for that.
Right.
All these witnesses out there. It was a square deal to purchase this for 400 shekels of silver to bury his wife.
That's
All right,
right.
go ahead.
Verse 19. And after this, Abraham buried Sarah, his wife, in the cave of the field of Machpelah, Salaki, before Marim, the same in Salaki, the same as Hebron, in the land of Canaan. Verse 20. And the field and the cave that is therein were made sure unto Abraham for possession of a burying place by the sons of Heth. It's the book of Genesis, chapter 24, and verse 1. And Abraham was old and well stricken in age, and the Most High had blessed Abraham in all things. Verse 2. And Abraham said unto his eldest servant of his house, that ruled over all that he had, Put, I pray thee, thy hand under my thigh. Verse 3. And I will make thee swear by the Most High thy power of heaven and the power of the earth, that thou shalt not take a wife unto my son of the daughters of the Canaanites among whom I dwell.
That will what?
That will not, Slakia, take a wife unto my son of the daughters of the Canaanites among whom I dwell.
Hey, man, swear to me, you ain't gonna marry one of these heathens, man. You understand? That's important. Throughout it. You understand? He's well stricken in age. He told his eldest son not to do this. You understand? That's heavy, man. Just read that part again.
Come on.
Swear to me what?
This is the book of Genesis chapter 24, verse 3. And I will make thee swear by the Most High, the power of heaven and the power of the earth, that thou shalt not
Go ahead.
take a wife unto my son of the daughters of the Canaanites, among whom I dwell.
Man, they're around us, but don't you go into them.
Right.
These Canaanite women with all that food and all that, they're all around you, but do not go into them. Swear to me. Swear to them. You know what I'm saying? That's important. Go ahead.
So, Lucky, if I may too, sir, add on to what you're saying is heavy. You know, this is a cut to every blackety black, you know, Kemet or Egyptologist that want to say we are Africans. You understand? Because obviously here there's a distinction between the Israelites or Hebrews here.
Well, soon to be Hebrew. Right there.
Come on. That's what Salaki said. A Hebrew and an African. You understand? So that Africanism, man, we got to wipe that off our minds, man. We are not African, man. Salaki.
Verse 4. But thou shalt go unto my country and to my kindred, and take a wife unto my son Isaac.
That's right. His own people.
Right.
Isaac, man. Go ahead.
That's it.
That was it. All right. Go ahead, sir.
Right. That's
Yeah. You want to call that racism, huh? Preferring your own people.
Exactly it.
You know.
That's right.
You say, no, don't marry these Canaanites, these heathens. You go back home and marry one of your kindred.
Right.
That's what we all must do. You know what I'm saying? We almost do that. Like I said, the record book is written for our learning, man. It's so important that we get into these scriptures, ask your questions, understand what it is the Most High is trying to portray to us through this word of God, man. You know what I'm saying? Because it's here for us. And we're keeping these records right now to this day and practicing everything that's in it to the best of our abilities, man. And we're going to conclude this Sabbath service. All right. Just up here. Well, hold on. Yeah, just up here, buddy.
Lion Shalom.
Sorry, walk down, rise, turn, face east. We're going to close with the Lord's Prayer.
This is the Lord's Prayer in the Hebrew. Abanawa, Shabbat Shemayim, Kodash, Hayah, Shemkah, Yahweh, Malatuka, Taba'ah, Ratazaka, Hayah, Aisha, Ba'arataza, Kawa, Hayah, Bashemayim, Nathan Lano, Lakam, Cow, Yawam, Wasalak Lano, Kawak with Nawa, Kasalak Nawa, Kawak with Yanawa, Wala'ah, Tabi'ayah now, Banasaya 1, Abal, Hawashai now, Mayan, Rad, Kaya, Laka, Hamalakwit, Waha'ala, Watapara, La Walamim, Aman.
In English, our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts, and we forgive our debtors. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever. So be it.
This is Hakak, the power in the Hebrew. Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shah, Baba Kashah, Nathan Lanawa, Hakak, Hakak, Larapa'ah, Kamakala, Wakamadawa, Hakak, Latahar, Hamatazarian, Hakak, Lahaquian, Hamathian, Hakak, Araka, Arakawak, Hamata'alam, Lagar Shan, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shah, the water among.
In English, Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh Shah, please give us the power to heal all manner of sickness, all manner of disease, the power to cleanse the leper, the power to raise the dead, the power against unclean spirits, to cast them out in the name of Yahweh Shah. Thank you, so be it.
This is the blessings in Hebrew. Barakatah Yahweh, Wa Yahweh Shah, Wa Mayaka Allah, Wa Alahayim, Matazabiyah, Alawak, Yohana Salah, Ha Alawapian, Ha Saranyam, Ha Quatazonium, Ha Kayoyim, Ha Agwatium, Yahweh Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shah, the water among.
In the English, bless you, Yahweh,
Bless you, Yahweh,
and Yahweh Shai, and Michael, and the angels, Commander during Johanna, the generals, the captains, the officers, the troopers, and the sisters. Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh Shai, thank you, so be it.
This is the book of Psalms, chapter 121 in the Hebrew. Asha'ah, Ayunya, Ahariam, Ma'ayan, Yaba'ah, Isaiah, Ma'aim, Yahweh, Aishah, Shamayam, Wa'aratazar, Al-Yathan, Lamawat, Regalka, Al-Yanawam, Shamarka, Hana, La'ah, Yanawam, Wala'ah, Yayashan, Shawamar, Yasha'alam, Yahweh, Shamarka, Yahweh, Tazalka, Al-Yad, Yom Yakah, Yawamam, Hashamash, La'ah, Yakaka, Wayarak, Balayala, Yahweh, Shamarka, Makara, Yashamar, Athnapashka, Yahweh, Yashamar, Tazaatka, Wabawaatka, Ma'ata, Wa'id Iwalam.
In English, I will lift up mine eyes unto the hills, from which cometh my help. My help coming from the power, which made heaven and earth. He will not suffer thy foot to be moved. He that keepeth thee will not slumber. Behold, he that keepeth Yasha Allah, shall neither slumber nor sleep. Yahweh is thy keeper. Yahweh is thy shade upon thy right hand. The sun shall not smite thee by day, nor the moon by night. Yahweh shall preserve thee from all evil. He shall preserve thy soul. Yahweh shall preserve thy going out and thy coming in, from this time forth and even forevermore.
This is the book of Psalms, chapter 83 in the Hebrew. Al-Ahayim, Al-Dami Al-Akah, Al-Thakarash, Wa'al, Tashakwat, Al-Kaya, Hana, Awayabyaka, Yahamam, Yawan, Ra'ash, Al-Aimaka, Ya'ira Yawam, Sawada, Wayata, Ya'atazawa, Altazapawanyaka, Amarawa, Lakawa, Wanakakidam, Magalia, Wala'ah, Yazakar, Shum, Yasha'ala, Awada, Kaya, Nawa'itazawa, Laba, Yakadwa, Al-Yakah, Baryat, Yakaratwa, Al-Halyam, Adawam, Wa Yashama'ala. Yom. Bariyat. Yakarat. Salaki. Ma wa Abba. Wa Hagar Yom. Gabal. Wa Aimawan. Wa Aimalak. Palashat. I'm Yashabia. Tazawar. Gam Ashawar. Nalawa. Amam. Hayawa. Zarawai. Labanya Lawat. Salah. Aisha. Lahum. Kamadian. Kasaya. Sara'ah. Kayabian. Banakal. Kayash. One. Nashama Salaka. Nashama Salaka. Nashamadwa. Ba'ayin Yan. Da'ira. Hayawa. Daman. La'idama. Shayatamwa. Nada. Yabmawa. Ka'irabak. Wazabak. Wakatazal. Mana'ah. Kal Nayasakamwa. Aishar. Amarwa. Nayarasha. Lanawa. At. Na'awat. Alahayim. Alahaya. Shayatamwa. Kagagala. Kakwash. Lapanyaraka. Ka'ash. W Ira. Wa Kalahaba. Tahalat. Hariyom. Kun. Taradatma. Basaraka. Wabasa. Wapatka. Tabahalom. Mala'ah. Payahum. Kwalawan. Wayabakwashwa. Sumka. Yahawa. Yabashwa. Wayabahalawa. Adya Aid. Waya Kaparwa. Waya Abadwa. Waya Da'awa. Kaya Ata. Sumka. Yahawa. Labadwa. It's like a Labadka. Ayawan. Al Kaha Arataza.
In the English, keep not thy silence, O Yahweh. Hold not thy peace, and be not still, O Yahweh. For lo, thine enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head. They have taken a crafty counsel against thy people, and consulted against thy hidden ones. They have said, come, and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Yasha Allah may be no more remembrance. They are consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against thee. The tabernacles of Edom and the Ishmaelites of Moab and the Hagarenes, the Baal and Ammon and Amalek, the Philistines with the inhabitants of Tyre. Assur also is joined with them. They have holpen the children of Lot, Salah, do unto them as unto the Midianites, as unto Sisera, as unto Jabin, at the brook of Kison, which perished at Endor. They became as dung for the earth. Make their nobles like Oreb and like Zeeb. Yea, all their princes, as Zabah and as Amunah, who have said, let us take to ourselves the house of Yahweh in possession. In possession, O my power, make them like a wheel, as a stubble before the wind, as a fire burnt the wood, as a flame set the mountains on fire. So persecute them with thy tempest, and make them afraid with thy storm. Fill their faces with shame, that they may seek thy name. O Yahweh, let them be confounded and troubled forever. Yea, let them be put to shame and perish, that men may know that thou, whose name alone is Yahweh, art the most high over all the earth. All right, sir. All right, men of Israel, guard thyselves and prepare to the Torah. Yah Hashem Shabrak Yah.
Yahweh Hashem Shabrak Yah.
Yahweh Hashem Shabrak Yah.
Men of Israel, we run one courtesy salute to
Like out.
yeah, you got that. You got that.
Men of Israel, we're gonna render one courtesy salute to the teacher. Men of Israel, Ahmad Shabbat, Ahmad Barak, Yahweh Hashem, Yahweh Shabbat,
How about Shema Shabbat?
Yahweh Matan, because Sabbath service dismissed.
That's it.